Look. Got an art hoe, look like Yoko Ono. Dragging on my shoulder, that's Komodo.
Yes.
Pull up in my Volvo, that's a photo. Chug 4 logos, I'm going logo.
shit.
I used to take the photos. Y'all ain't fly, y'all stink like the fucking dodo. I've been fly, I'm on fire, legend. Maybe like... It was good levels, right?
Alex was a little loud, but that's why I moved it over.
Oh, okay, alright. So, went a little bit
Wow,
closer,
so now I'm a little loud. Just because I'm white.
Shit. I didn't say
I'm just talking about that outfit, man. That's very loud.
Hey, I try. I try to do something special for my little
world.
My little Reddit.
I think it's the
fans.
third. I think it's the third time that wax shirt's made an appearance,
Second.
though. Well,
The
keep 'em
Virgil
counting.
Abloh
Keep 'em
episode.
counting. That's right. Go back and listen.
It's
to
relevant.
That, maybe.
It's relevant.
That's true.
Welcome to the podcast, everyone.
Maybe we should introduce ourselves.
For that one guy on Reddit, shout out.
Grinch. Something Grinch. I don't know.
Shout out. My name is definitely the guy known as...
Okay.
Beep! No, Buddy Alex. The man with the plan.
We'll still have a little funny graphic there, but Buddy Alex to my right. I'm Andrew, aka Young Jizz. And to my left is Josh, aka J Pasty, aka PJ Martian.
And I will be looking at ARGs this entire podcast.
Yeah, he'll be a little
if
bit.
I don't speak up.
That's all right. That's all right.
You're
trying to spoil you
if
anyway.
you're having trouble differentiating between our voices,
it's because
we sound the same.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to talk like this the whole time so everyone knows that it's me. It's me.
I'm the one who sounds really far away.
I'm the one who is emotionally very distant.
And I'm like the best one here. That's how you know. I'm like the good one. And then that's how you differentiate my voice.
Yeah.
But,
anyway, this is inside baseball.
We three white boys, it's yeah. The voices are going to kind of be interchangeable at some point. That's all right.
Speaking of being white, we're big fans of the show Community.
This shirt I retired a long time ago. I've worn it as a pajama shirt, but I'm like, well, we're going to talk about kind of Community to an extent, potentially, maybe, on one of our topics. Do you want to start with that topic, or do you want to talk about...
For the record, I'm not that much into Community, to be honest with you.
I liked it a lot in high school, like a lot. And I rewatched it again recently. Definitely too much. I rewatched it again like a few years ago, and it was still like good, but I definitely like it less than I did. And I don't know if I'm gonna rewatch it anytime soon. I didn't finish it. I watched the first 3 seasons, and I didn't watch the rest because it's not very good.
I feel like I'm kind of the Jeff Winger of this podcast.
You got a big ass forehead, bro. I'm the Annie because I got tits. So
yeah,
putting out there. Josh is the Pierce.
Allison Bree's not really doing shit lately, I don't think. Where's her? Does she have
She was in
OnlyFans?
a movie that I watched recently.
I'm more Abed because I'm...
Yeah, you're Abed for sure.
Yeah.
No, Allison Brie was in Promising Young Woman, a movie that I watched with my girlfriend the other day. It sounds like a girl movie, bro, but it's a good movie. It's about kind of murdered almost, kind of, maybe. I can't really remember, but I liked it. It was like 3 a.m. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. And we'll talk about another thing.
Rolling my eyes harder than humanly possible.
We'll talk about another thing that that we'll only talk about because my girlfriend kind of got me into them, him,
them.
thing.
Okay.
My apologies.
Shit. Man. Yeah. So, speaking of cinema and film bro douchiness, we are big fans of Atlanta, which is real shit. Community is, fun comedy for the whole family. Atlanta,
it's good background
shit. It's for real ass dudes like me and you.
Man.
And
I missed it.
It's come back. We talked about it a little bit on the podcast. It is rap related.
Yeah, it's in the world.
Because it's about a rapper.
Yeah.
But it's about so much more.
Yes.
As Conway the Machine would say.
Yeah, it's been 4 years? I'm a different person since the last time. We're different people since the last time we watched, since Atlanta was on TV that we could watch. Like that was 4 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, pre-COVID.
It's a different world. But it came back fucking swinging right away. Two episodes dropped. We're filming this on Friday the 25th, so that was last night. I only watched the 2 episodes today because I rewatched the whole series before leading up to it, so I still had a few episodes to watch last night and today. But I binged that shit, and yeah, for you
Real
said,
quick, favorite episodes from the first 2 seasons. Top 1 or 2, 3.
I mean, it's fucking basic ass answer, but Teddy Perkins is insane. But that's like almost a standalone episode. Like I don't really consider that like that's almost like tertiary to the Atlanta story. Same with the first episode of this season. Even though it all links together and the themes all are shared together and shit.
That was a special episode.
The pilot is, I think, still a great episode. Both the finales of both seasons are great. It's hard to pick a favorite because there's no like
the best
bad
straight
episode.
up comedy episode is the one where it's like an episode of
the Black American Network one is like the funniest episode for sure, I think. Just in terms of jokes per minute.
The guy who identifies as white or something.
Yeah, oh man, that shit still gets me, man.
One of the all-time bits. Yeah, and then the bit at the end where it's like a panel discussion and then Paperboy's in that.
Yeah, and then like we could talk about that episode forever because it's a great episode. We talk about the first 2 seasons forever because they're both great and probably the best like kind of new. That's the only show that new show that I like keep up with. I don't really keep up with much shit. Like I don't really watch TV.
It's that
like
Righteous Gemstones.
True, I don't have HBO. If I had HBO, I'd be
Curb.
keeping up with more. Curb as well. Yeah, good point.
And gay porn, and that's pretty much it. That's all I watch. Shit.
Or I guess you watch Succession. That's an ongoing show, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's another one.
You should get into Succession.
I keep hearing things on Twitter and shit about it now. I might. It's on HBO though, right? Man,
just fucking pay the $5.
It's like $20 a month. It's like insane.
We're sponsored by Crave TV. If you want to watch Atlanta.
No, Atlanta's on Disney Plus, bro. It's for some reason like FX like. Somehow Disney has bought Hulu or something, and then because a bunch of FX shows, like Dave is on Disney Plus too, like a bunch of FX shows are on Hulu, which we don't have Hulu in Canada. Therefore, like it kind of.
So you watch Dave too?
Well, I watched Dave, but like I didn't watch it recently, like.
Okay.
But I've watched both seasons of Dave, and I do like Dave. We should mention that Donald Glover did tweet out being like, man, don't compare Atlanta to Dave. Like he said, like, don't even compare Atlanta to Dave because it's not the same. And he's right. Like at the time I was watching Dave season 2 and I'm like, this is really good. And it's really funny. But after the first 2 episodes, I'm like, no, you can't even compare the shows.
That's kind of low on Donald's thing. It's like I always considered him as like he's above petty beef like that.
No, he's petty.
I get it.
He's been petty.
He says he's petty.
And he's arrogant.
It's not beef.
Yes. No.
Like,
yeah. No.
But it's like I just think it's like, dude, just do your own thing. Like, don't worry about what other people.
But I understand
in
terms of because it's not even him that's comparing it. It's other people online that he's seen comparing the shows, and I understand as a creator of something and being just wanting to kind of clear the air, being like, yeah, and he has an ego, of course, like. I don't know. It makes sense to me. I'm not really that surprised that he did that. I don't really, and it's not beef. Yeah. He said it's all love.
Well, when you consider how good Atlanta is, like to compare.
Like Dave is probably Dave is more of a comedy show. It's more of like a sitcom, not sitcom-esque, but like it's more.
I've never watched
jokes.
it, but it seems like more predictable. Like this is the story of a rapper getting.
And it's pretty much just Little Dicky's actual come up and shit. Like it's pretty like. But Atlanta's so much more than just the story going on. They're like the first episode of season 3 wasn't about them at all. It was a whole different story.
Let's get into it. Fucking crazy episode.
Yeah, and it's a long one too. It's like 40 minutes or something like that. It follows this kid LaQuare. Well, the start is already fucking crazy of just two dudes on a boat, one white guy, one black guy. I guess we don't want to explain every single fucking plot point of the episode,
and then it's jump cuts too.
We can go through a bit of a synopsis though.
But yeah, the whole intro of talking about like white being white is more so like a social thing. It's not even just like a skin color thing. It's just like the politics of race, which I think the show has already nailed to a T in previous seasons. Like they're not stopping. Like they touch on race so. In a really interesting and unique way that no other TV show, at least, has done to me, at least.
they explore it in a way where, like, I find that at the beginning of the episode, sometimes you're like, oh, this is a little bit heavy-handed of a message. But then the more they develop it so much more through, like, the everyday racist actions that, like, the characters in the story are making. Yeah.
Already after this second episode, you're like, oh, I can already see the connections of what the guy was talking about in the boat and to what's happening in their lives. Like, I can already start to see. I'm assuming, like, that, you know, they started the season with it. I'm assuming that's gonna that whole speech is gonna have to do with the rest of the season and how things play out to an extent. You would have to think so, right? And kind of the horror elements they're leading into a little bit, at least the first on that first scene, which I'm like, hey, Teddy Perkins was such a big success, like.
That one had heavy Jordan Peele vibes.
Yeah. And speaking to the first two seasons as well, like the first season was very grounded, or a lot more grounded, and was still like had some uncanny valley type shit. But the second season was a lot more out there, and now that they're in Amsterdam, in Europe, in a place that's already fucking crazy from an outsider standpoint, like they're just gonna get weirder and weirder, which I'm all here for. I do kind of hope maybe for the fourth and final season they get a little bit back to. I mean, I think it's set back in Atlanta, so it might get a little more grounded towards the end. But I'm all here for the craziness, at least for this season.
Well, we were talking about a bit earlier about how season 2 of Atlanta is like it's Robin's season, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole like thesis statement of the show, and a lot of it is about that sense of eerie danger and lurking mystery.
It was a dark season, and Earn kept losing the whole. It kept getting worse and worse for him. Like it looked dark, which it's
and like point. Just like they're struggling to make ends meet, and also just like danger and mystery and craziness around every corner, and all these like the episodes would take place in a weird subculture or like area in American life where they're just kind of...
That whole Helen episode where they were out in like Germantown near Atlanta, and it was him and Van, and with all like the craziness that happened there, like that was almost a kind of a forecast of what we might see this season, almost in terms of the crazy fucking different culture shit that we're gonna
but also
get
like
to see.
Where I do see the bit of a Dave comparison, not that I've even seen Dave, but like Atlanta does take its time with like very like slow scenes and like the minutia of everyday delays and bullshit going through your life in sort of like a Seinfeldian kind of way, where it's like comedy, you can mine that for comedy, and like just like awkward interactions with people.
It nails awkward
perfect
fucking,
little like insanely stupid moments, but like it you could zero in on that.
Moments
and, like,
that you don't even think about, but then if you actually hyperanalyze, you're like, that's actually fucking like kind of nuts almost, like how that actually happened.
For an example, in episode 2 of season 3, when he's at the police station in in the Netherlands, and he blows his nose in a thing, and this police officer like puts his hand out like,
no, I'm cool, and then then he fucking puts it in his pocket and is like, that's mine. Like, shit, man.
And it just perfectly like is like a weird moment, and then somebody else walks into the room, and you're like, okay, well that's over now.
And every time that Earn was sick in the episode, every time he sneezed, everyone said whatever, I don't even know what the word was. And then everybody, like, they all said it in unison, and all the background noises stopped when they said it as well, and then it kept going. They've done that a few times in the show when he's at the, when Earn and Paperboy are at the label, and Earn is just like looking at Paperboy in the doing the meeting, and then everyone else is in the office is looking at Earn, and then as soon as he notices, he looks over, and then everything starts again, and they're like, kind of just like it plays into that kind of surrealist kind of vibe that I really fuck with in the show as well. How like it's all kind of set in a reality, but not ours kind of thing. A bunch of in terms of how they play with it is super cool.
But to go back to the first episode, it's fucking crazy. Like, it's like sad, shocking, funny, scary. Like it's a real like roller coaster,
and it's real,
and it's very thought provoking as well. Like, the Atlanta has a knack for like articulating very specific forms of racism or weirdness that exist, and with the character of these two lesbian white women who are like foster kids that are who have a bunch of foster kids that are young black kids from the like
but having them
lower
work
economic status
on the house all day, farming and fucking
and they have them living there, and and they think that they're good people, like we're saving them from
even though they're exploiting them and they're using them for fucking profit, and it's just literally just a slavery.
My God.
And the worst part about that is I was looking into the episode a little bit afterwards, just try to get a better meaning of maybe just like the intro again was like kind of like I had to kind of wrap my brain around it a little bit. That was like pretty much beat for beat. That was a real story that happened. Like that was a thing
that's something that happens all the time. The foster system is filled with people like that who think that they are.
But that whole thing of it was two white women who thought they were like fucking thought they were from God and shit, and they were like they had a bunch of foster kids that they were all black, and they exploited like that whole free hugs thing sign that the guy was the kid was wearing. What was his name again?
LaQuavi. That was one of the things like. They bring him out to the farm, and then they have a thing that says free hugs,
and then
they're forcing him to wear it, and he's wearing this stupid hat.
Yeah.
And the cop looks at him, he's like, "Hey, with that hat, you look like Aloe Black."
Yeah.
Which is like
fucking Christ,
a reference that a white racist cop would not know.
Yeah.
You know, like that. Aloe Black is like a electronic dance artist that you've probably seen him before. He's somewhat famous.
Yeah,
you probably recognize him.
I don't know if I've heard of him.
He's mainly famous for wearing the little fedoras.
Man, you missed the jump on that joke.
What?
As soon as I sneezed, you
should have stopped. It's because I was too busy in my little rant there.
But the whole, how it's like so sad and like, and really, it's fucked up the more you think about it. But also I'm laughing at the same time because the one guy comes up and he's like, "Oh, is Hugs your dad?" Because he's wearing a free Hugs thing, being like free. His dad's in jail, assuming this white guy assuming this black kid's dad is in jail.
Oh my God, yeah.
Which is fucked up, but also funny. Like I'm laughing, but I'm like I feel bad that I'm laughing, like as a white person, and just as an audience, just as a viewer, like it's, I don't know, man.
Well, that's kind of the point. Is it's just the everyday shit that is a part of like what it's actually like to be in that kind of situation, and how, the climax of the episode to me was when, Child Protective Services comes by.
Yeah.
And they are about to kind of save this kid who's ended up in this horrible situation. And then they just take off, like, on the run.
Yeah. They presumably maybe kill the woman, maybe. Like, that was in his dream, but also he saw that garbage bag that was, like, pretty big with, like, the clipboard on top of it that she was carrying.
Oh, that's another little thing is the little dog.
Fucking
these women have this little dog.
Oh, God.
The dog gets to eat normal food.
He's like, he's eating hamburger and he's eating fucking raw ass chicken. Like shit, man.
Oh my God.
And I think I was.
Oh, reading... and they have like a little thing where they're like, we don't have any towels in this house because we don't believe.
And he was like, how do I wipe my ass? And she just doesn't answer. I'm like, man, what the fuck?
Just the insanity of people.
And I also noticed how, when the child care people, Child Protective Services came originally, there was a white. Or it was maybe an Asian woman. I think it was white. It was a white woman showing up, and there was some police people behind her. But when the black woman shows up, there's no police presence. Is that maybe a little subtle take on race as well, right there? Like,
I mean, there's a million different things going on in the show.
Yeah, but anyway, like that.
But the point is, like, I find that the climax is when they kind of have their like, oh fuck, our whole thing is falling apart moment between the two of them. What's funny is like the relationship between the two white ladies, like they have their own like, they're both horrible people, but they have their
in
own
different
like
ways.
They have their own like dramatic arc where like they feel like that they have their come to Jesus moment where they're like, you know what, fuck it, like we're just gonna go there and like
society's already fucked up, it's already gonna mess with these kids anyway. Let's just
And the lady's crying, and she's saying, I wrote it down because I thought that it was poignant. She's saying, "Why didn't anyone stop us?"
Yeah, crazy.
Because she's saying like how much encouragement that's like somebody like the optics of that situation. Oh, these two like rich ladies are gonna come and adopt a bunch of black the system kind of like wants to support something like that. So of course everyone's going to line up and give them a loan and give them everything they want. Yeah. And it's what the guy says at the beginning of the episode about how whiteness is being blind to how unfair it is for everybody else. Yeah. And that's the same kind of idea like, why didn't anyone stop us? Like, yeah, because you
you don't even realize what the fuck you're doing. Like, man. And the fact that they free the dog and they want to kill the kids, though, is like... That's also like a white lady thing, I feel, to an extent, of like they almost care too much about
the dog,
these fucking dogs, or like it's like they're their own little children, and like I love my dog, I love my old dog as well. Like I treat it like part of the family.
But any human being is more important than any dog.
Well, yeah, at the end of the fucking day, man, like shit.
Because humans have souls.
Yeah. But yeah, the story was based on this kid, Deontay Hart, who was like, it's beat for beat the same story. There's pictures of him with the fedora. Like, it's all taken from...
Oh, wow.
Like, like, if you look at pictures and shit, like, the whole thing was beat for beat. They drove off the fucking... drove off the bridge and shit, and the free hug sign was all there. And how they were pretty much just exploiting these kids just for... Pretty much for clout, it seemed. Like, just for likes, almost. Yeah. And they kind of hinted to that about talking about Instagram and shit in the dinner table at the one scene. But the real life story is that all the white woman and the kids all died. They all drowned in the van, and the bodies were one kid of the Deontay kid was never found. I think that's what his name is. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I just skimmed it before we started the podcast. But so they kind of changed it in this story, having the kids all survive and kind of it being a happier ending, but still pretty much beat for beat being like this is a real life thing that has happened and will continue to happen. It's fucking... And
crucially, he just walks home at the end of the day and...
just goes right back home.
Well, he's like watching it on the news and he like just changes the channel because like the reality is all these wretched, horrible things happen to people who are on the bottom of society and they just have to move on.
Yeah.
They can't linger on this type of stuff forever. Mm-hmm. Even though it is like a... Like, you know, fascinating, like... My mind just went blank.
That's all right.
So it's the problem is because
we got the point.
We bond, society. Episode, and then are we supposed to believe that was just a dream, or was that somehow representative of Ern's life?
I recently rewatched the show, and I remember a scene from the pilot. Ern wakes up, very similar to. There's a lot of parallels between episode 2 and the pilot. In terms of Paperboy being in jail. I guess that maybe was episode 2 or 3. But how different the jail systems were in America and then out there. Yeah. Which I think is a direct reference to A$AP Rocky being in that Swedish jail and how it was like much nicer. I think that's a direct... They reference real life shit and memes and viral shit like so much in this show that it's hard to not think that. But anyway, Ern was having said to Van in the first episode he had a dream of like... how he was like swimming in water and like the seaweed was touching him, but it wasn't seaweed, it was hands, which is very similar to when the hands grabbed the black guy in the boat scene and kind of dragged him in the water type shit. Like it's a parallel right there. Like I think there's something. It's definitely linked. I don't know what it means necessarily. I think we're led to believe it's a dream, but I mean the fact that it did happen in real life should be enough to be like, well. Shit, like it might not have happened in real life in this show, but it happened in our real lives. So fuck, it doesn't even matter. Like,
that's what I love about this show, though, is that it will just it takes the creative license to do type of shit like that.
Yeah.
Let's get into episode 2. So,
multiple different stories and shit happening. A lot of running around. They kind of just got right into it. Very reminiscent of season 1 and 2 of Atlanta.
So, episode 2, Paperboy's on tour in Europe, and it's kind of about it seems like pretty chaotic.
They glowed up. It's been, I think they said in the thing, like it's been a year. Like Ern said like we were here last year kind of thing. Like because the season 2 ends with them going on tour with Clark County, but Paperboy's opening. But now on the signs and stuff it says Paperboy's name first thing and he's like, oh, you know, Paperboy's performing at the show. Like so I think they skipped a year. Which is fair because they all look a little bit different and like shit. It's been fucking 4 years, so it makes sense that they would skip maybe 1.
Right.
And it seems like fucking Van has a boyfriend, she said, or some shit. And like Paperboy really fucking like they have money. Like he has $20K to just throw it to these fucking fans. Like, so I'm glad they kind of did that. Or it's interesting just that they decided to skip that like, and not just go straight to. You know, they're trying to evolve the story and keep it going rather than just taking it right from the last scene of season 2, which I respect.
Yeah,
and it's done well enough. You know,
they explore more things about the music industry, and what it's like for Ern to be a manager.
Yeah,
like having to talk to the showrunner and being like, get more money out of him and like
and just like you gotta pay for the cab and just like I need $20K right now, like it's just insane shit. And really just how he has to make these moves and like how he's gotten much better as a manager over the past year or so as well. But also towards the end of the episode, it seems like he's kind of not done with it, but like shit, not really.
Well, yeah,
because the season 2 was all about him.
Kind of a dickhead.
Yeah, because it all seems like season 2 was all about Earn trying to prove himself to Paperboy, but now that he's there, he's like, shit, Paperboy's just way too big and he's getting fucking way too in his head. Maybe it's kind of a correlation as well of like, is Paperboy gonna get to the point where he is white in a way, where he has the white mentality, the social shit, where he thinks like he's better than Earn and all that shit? Like maybe that's I'm kind of seeing that's where it might maybe go. There's gonna be some sort of a blow up, I feel, at some point. I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but I'm all fucking for it.
So I have a couple notes from the first moment that really made me laugh was when Darius is in the taxi and just casually tells Van like, I had my balls crushed when I was a kid in Nigeria. That's why I can't procreate. It's just like.
Which is also a shout out to the pilot as well, because when I watched the pilot, he had a thing where it's like I can't make babies, man. And then Earn's like I'm sure I'll find out why when the time is right or something like that. So it's kind of again another parallel to kind of like this is the start of a whole new thing. Like I think seasons 3 and 4 are going to be almost its own separate beast in the first 2 seasons, to an extent.
There is going to be a 4th season though.
Yeah, 4th season's confirmed. It's already shot. It's done. It's shot. It's ready to go. I think it's coming out this fall. So this season is going to finish towards the summertime, and then we're going to get a few months, and then season 4 right away, which is pretty sick. Yeah. But then that's the last season there. But yeah, I'm interested to see what they're going to go with Van's character as well, because I thought I was curious to see how she was going to end up in Europe and stuff, because they have the kid, but she just kind of said that she's just at the parents' place or whatever, because she's like trying to find herself. So I'm interested to see where her character goes. Obviously at the whole funeral kind of weird ass scene, like we'll see how it goes, which that scene is fucking crazy, and how it might be Tupac, it might not be Tupac, the whole death is fucking insanity. Like,
well, first of
all, I don't
even
know if that's a real custom.
To explain the idea a little bit, they go shopping and they find him and Darius, or her and Darius, they find an address.
Get your pronouns right. 3 slaps for you.
They find an address, and Darius always like is in situations where he's like, "Oh, that's your destiny. You have to follow that."
Well, fucking Darius, man. I want a friend like Darius.
Him as just like the Zen guy who just like allows things to happen, and somehow always ends up in like very interesting situations. They end up going to some weird funeral type event,
ritual,
but
cult
the
vibes.
Person's not actually dead.
Yeah.
But it seems like they've kind of just decided that this person's, it's sort of like
I don't even know if they're dying.
Midsommar type vibes.
I don't even know if they're dying.
It's like they decided their life cycle is over. And Darius just says like, "Oh, I felt the thug life energy when I walked in here."
He goes up and
he's like, that's Tupac.
Yeah. He goes up to me, he's like, "I'm a big fan of your songs." That's fucking crazy. That was funny.
But this is another thing where I find the lore of who killed Tupac to be so interesting as a literal question of like literally who killed him. Was it a fucking FBI, CIA conspiracy?
Yeah.
And also like killing Tupac as a metaphorical idea for like killing the soul of the revolutionary mind or whatever by like becoming, just another like rapper, entertainer type, and like when did Tupac like lose his way? And when he got too involved with the street life is when that's what ended up killing him, or was it, the point is this is all tertiary to what happened, but these are that's what sparks my mind to think about that.
Sure. Just the show fucking gets me going, man. Just gets me thinking about so much shit. Like it's just
and then they kind of it was a surprising way of killing a guy where he's laying in a bed and then suddenly a thing
three fucking buttons and then just
and then just like asphyxiates him and everybody sits there and watches it. It was horrifying.
It's very Midsummer vibes. You're right. Just the whole vibe.
I know he at least called up Ari Aster to be like, "Hey man, you got to see this."
And we got to talk about. All right, so I gotta. All right. So you're all right. So you're Dutch, Dutch heritage. You're proud. I want to say proud Dutchman.
Self-loathing Dutchman here.
Homeland Netherlands.
Look, we have this thing in
Flying Dutchman.
We have this thing in.
That's your rap name.
That's a pretty sick rap name, actually.
De Nederlands. We have this thing called Sinterklaas. Okay, it's a wonderful tradition.
Okay.
But then there is also a character. There is a.
So you talk your way out of this shit, boy.
There's this guy called Zwarte Piet. Okay, it means Black Peter, and he is Sinterklaas's little helper. And they literally explained this shit to me when I was a kid, and I thought, like, oh, he has black shit all over his face because he's like a chimney sweep or something.
Well, that's what they said in this, and that's what it is. That's like the lore, or that's like the
that's what I was taught as a kid. But even then, I was like,
where do the red lips come in then, man? Like explain that shit. Like
and the curly hair. It is just blackface.
It's just blackface.
But this is real. They have this in the Netherlands, and it's like I have relatives who will defend Zwarte Piet to you.
Yeah, we should call one up now.
Yeah, make them just debate us live. Like, I know you're trying to duck out from the war in Ukraine right now, but actually, I literally have relatives that have like Ukrainians in there. Like, they're taking care of some refugee Ukrainians. Pretty crazy. Anyway, yeah, it's fucked up.
I mean, I'm sure it's not as bad as the show portrayed, where there's just an audience at a concert full of people in blackface. Like, I'm sure that's not like fucking just maids walking in. I'm sure it's not that bad, but they just amped it up for the sake of being Atlanta and fucking making shit more hyper real and like kind of just making the point come across more just by kind of hyper extending something.
Well, that's one of the concepts of the episode that I find interesting is like how European racism and how like they see themselves as like, oh well, we're not like the Americans, like but they are, but
it's still racist.
Underneath it, there is still like, and they try to be more polite, and they are more like sophisticated like system of governments where like, you know, they go to this jail and like
and he gets ordering shit off a menu, bro. And,
that's a great scene. Jail experience is like hilariously great, like
and how he's like, yo, can I turn on? Mind if I turn off the lights? Like, oh, please, man. Then turn off the lights, and then like the lights like dim, and then there's ocean sounds going. It's like a fucking like, bro, like,
oh my god.
He gets bail posted. He's like, I'm not leaving until I get my food, man. Like shit. Yeah, it was fucking hilarious scene. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to watch you struggle there, just to defend and explain that a little bit, just for our audience there, because you have the relatives and shit, and it's, you know, in your heritage.
That's one of those things that's absurd to me. I never. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a bit of a tradition where you wear the wooden shoes and you.
Right.
It's on like December 5th. It's like way before Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even really identify. Like, what? Honestly, it's triggering watching that episode and seeing all those Dutch faces and.
Well, I mean, it seems like the rest of the season will take place, or a lot of it will take place in Amsterdam. So it's gonna hit you at home there to an extent, I think.
Yeah, and then so they're about to do the show, and then they see
the crowd.
And then the ironic Curb Your Enthusiasm style twist is that the manager is really pissed, and then he runs out chasing Earn, but then there's so many other people wearing blackface that he just starts beating up some other guy
because he thinks he's Earn. Yeah, oh man, it's another take.
And then he just watches that, and then like
he's like, oh like, shit, man.
Wow. But, Moving on. Rappers turned actors.
Yeah, that's kind of got the whole Atlanta coming back, and how Gambino is a multi-talented man, and has a pretty successful music career as well. Got me thinking, like, well, what other people have made that successful jump? Either were rappers first and tried acting, or actors first and did rapping. There's a few, but going both ways. I feel some of them are pretty successful, some of them are not. As we'll just touch on a few of them. We'll kind of just loosely kind of go over a few performances and shit that we've seen over the years and talk about a few. I mean, to me, Donald Glover is a great actor. I think he's probably a better director and writer than an actor, though, because I don't know if he has like crazy range. But he's played a lot of different characters over the years. And
Seems like he mostly plays Donald Glover type guys.
Yeah, Lando, Earn, Troy Barnes, like they're all kind of similar, something similar to them, right? Like, he's no fucking
Daniel Day-Lewis or some shit.
Yeah, some shit. But I think he's, in terms of rappers that turned into actor, or I guess he was an actor technically first. He's one of the better ones that we got going right now. Obviously, Will Smith is one of the biggest ones.
Oh wow!
Acted first, and then got into a little bit of a music career, and I guess he's still kind of.
That's one
raps,
where
but his rapping is
he's way more of an actor celebrity than a rapper.
Yeah,
he's only known for the theme song
Wild Wild West
to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Wild Wild West that's a hit though.
But is that really?
No. He was on the...
And he had the song Parents Don't Understand or something.
Vince would disagree. But...
Has Vince said Will Smith is a great rapper?
Vince has said that Will Smith is a great rapper.
Oh, yeah, and the fucking Welcome to Miami, that song. Oh, and Getting Jiggy with it. Yeah, no, he had a couple.
He's got some hits.
Yeah, he's got some...
For a clean rapper, too, yeah, he's got some hits. It was on a Joyner Lucas song a few years ago, so...
Will Smith is just kind of corny trash to me, though.
Well, yeah, and even as an actor, like, he's a good actor, but like, I'm just sick of him now, like his whole YouTube shit and just like
He's on YouTube.
Yeah, he's just on YouTube all the time now and shit, making vlogs and shit, like, and the whole like how him and Jada Pinkett Smith are just like always in the news cycle. I'm just tired of hearing about that shit. I was never that big of a Will Smith guy anyway. So,
whatever happened to Jaden Smith?
He's still,
he's not doing music anymore, right?
I think he's still doing music.
We all kind of thought he was going to be the next big thing.
Donald Glover said he was supposed to be in the new season of Atlanta, but the schedule wasn't going to work out. I'm like, honestly?
What kind of, what schedule is he on?
I don't know, man. He's on his own fucking time now. He's on his own time zone.
Because Willow Smith came back as an emo singer on the new MGK album.
She's opening for MGK, too. Which we'll get into. Believe me.
Anyway, the Smith family can suck my dick. Here's a question: does being on a cop show / crime movie even really
count? Does that count? You talking about Ice-T?
Yeah.
I don't think it really counts because, like, man, is that really even acting? Like, I guess, but like barely, right? And has he done anything else other than that? Really? Like, I think he's done some voice work maybe here and there, but like.
Well, he was in a couple movies in like the early '90s and shit. Right. Best rapper actor is Tupac.
Probably
Tupac and Juice.
It's an
amazing performance. But... I've seen it. And they continue to reference it in songs and use clips of it and stuff.
Up in the running for me would be Ice Cube. He may not be the best at rapping or acting, but the fact that he's so famous for both of them is crazy. Like,
a lot of these are more old school rappers where I never even really like. I was not around when they were out as a rapper, really, so I know them more as actors.
Yeah, I knew growing up. I knew Ice Cube was more of an actor. I didn't really even fucking piece it together.
Mainly known for the fucking.
Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of what question the title of it was. Have we got there yet?
Have we arrived at our destination?
But yeah, like the thing is, if you're a rapper who plays like some kind of gangster in a movie, it's like you're already playing a gangster in your music, so it's not that much of a. That's
what thing as well. Ice Cube a lot of the time plays a kind of a gangster type of hard fucking dude character anyway. So it's not. I'm not like I'm. That's why I'm not being like he's not the best actor. He's not the best rapper necessarily either. But he's just so famous for both of them that I gotta just shout him out.
But it's like
he's crazy with it.
Gangster rappers are not real gangsters anyway. Exactly. So they are acting in their music and in
Yeah, exactly. So there's
that's
you
why
have to put
that's why there's such an overlap.
Yeah, for sure. And even to the extent of like
who else do we got
comedians going into rap as well, like Zach Fox and shit, and vice versa. But
here are some of the important rapper roles in my life.
Okay.
Lil Bow Wow in Like Mike.
I don't think I've
Have
I
you
think
ever
I've
seen
heard of that
Like
fucking
Mike?
movie, bro.
Man, I feel like I'm so old. Like, no one knows this movie Like Mike.
And hanging with the big boys.
It's about a young kid who finds Michael Jordan's shoes.
Okay.
And then becomes an amazing.
We can watch it
basketball
tonight,
player.
bro. We can. Hey, shit.
I've seen it several times, and it's
Talking
awesome.
about Space Jam. I think you're talking about Space Jam, bro.
No. Yeah, but the thing is, Lil Bow Wow. Can you name a song? Yeah.
Of course
me
not.
neither.
I grew up on fucking backpack rap.
Drake,
Shit.
actor turned rapper.
My basketball career, my whole future, is gone. It's like these two pieces of me.
But he's not a good actor though, right?
That's the thing.
Like he's super. He's obviously like the biggest musician
Way,
ever. So, like,
way better of a musician than ever he was an actor.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, like a lot of people would argue he's the best actor turned rapper because he's like the biggest artist, biggest rapper. Like,
But I think to be
maybe not
considered
of all
that,
time.
you have to actually have some acting chops.
Yeah, and to me, and we've talked about it before, we kind of think a lot of Drake's music is mid, so to us, we're not really gonna give him that title of, you know, being the best fucking actor rapper, just combo shit. And he hasn't acted in fucking a minute, so shit. Other than acting like a fucking child on this shit. God damn it.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Acting like he's really Canadian.
Man. He hasn't touched down in the T-dot in a minute, fam.
I haven't seen that slime ball.
No, we shouldn't even.
We're out of slime touch, ball probably means something horrible on Urban Dictionary. I don't even know. Here's one from that I've seen. Ludacris shows up in the Fast and Furious movies a couple times.
Ludacris.
He's great in Too Fast, Too Furious.
He was good in the first one, I thought. Or no, he wasn't in the first one, I'm dumb. First one he showed up in.
But I mean, the tone of that movie is it's so wacky and
you don't even have to. Yeah,
it's like in order to do a good performance, you have to be kind of corny, like because it's a corny movie.
Yeah.
But he's perfect in it.
Yeah. I choose to remember Ludacris from his role as a CGI'd face on an elf in Fred Claus. I think that's my peak Ludacris performance there.
I said no.
Donnie, change the song.
No.
Change the song.
No.
You know what? I'm going to change the song then for you. What are you getting physical with me for? Music's supposed to be about love. Don't get physical with me.
Stole the show. Every scene he was in.
We're gonna do a full Fred Claus review on the next Christmas episode, so watch out for that
there
one.
You go. But in terms of, I don't even like.
He shows up in the other Fast and the Furious ones,
Yeah.
but he's not as good in those other ones because it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, and we talked about Ludacris when he was on that. What song was that? The Conway song?
Yeah.
With G.I.D. And we were talking about like how it was a good verse, but it was still kind of a little bit corny. So maybe he's just in general like just kind of maybe a little bit corny. Maybe you have to be a fucking actor rapper.
He was popular at a corny time in popular culture.
Yeah.
I mean, when you watch like the old Ludacris videos, he's got like the weird like effects where he's got like gigantic fists in one video for the stand-up video.
Yeah.
And like he's got like a gigantic head in one, and like
no.
It's like this would be cool to people who are still playing first generation Xbox.
yeah.
You
That's
know?
a good comparison.
It's cool in the way that, you know, Grand Theft Auto 3 is cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, speaking of Fast and Furious, we got to talk about our boy Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Future president of the United States.
Peak performance. His first ever rap debut came out, I think, last year.
It's about talent.
It's about drive.
skill.
It's about desire. It's about... Oh, man.
Yeah.
Fucking terrible, bro.
They gon' take your face off.
It's about drive. It's about power. We stay hungry. We devour. Put in the work. Put in the hours. And take what's ours.
God
I'm
damn.
saying he could inspire like a whole wave of drill rappers. He should have an album where it's him and like 50 drill rappers from like Chicago, Detroit.
Pop Smoke somehow
Buffalo.
has like 7 features on this shit because they're just gonna keep milking that.
And he can just kind of
shit.
executive produce. He should be like a DJ Khaled style
Yeah.
guy.
That could, yeah, shit. You might be predicting the future there. I don't think it's a one-off verse, you know? Like, on a Tech 9 song. Like, why on a fucking Tech 9 song, first of all, anyway? But...
Yeah, was that just, like, a
favor?
A trial balloon of, like, let's see how the internet reacts to this.
I mean, shit,
if they like it, I'll give them a whole album.
It was memed as fuck. Like, it wasn't a good verse, but it was, like, talked about for a while, so, like, shit, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear more.
But was it talked about just because it's The Rock, or because...
Because it was bad, and it was because it was The Rock, yeah.
Right.
And it was memed pretty heavily, I remember, but...
Wow, I just remember when I threw my hat at Josh.
Yeah, apologize.
Josh. I come to you, hat in hand.
What?
I'm not
paying attention.
No dignity, no pride. My pants are...
And no belt.
So I could easily pants.
And no underwear on. Yeah, this started the episode of fucking... him being butt-ass naked in fucking TSA. Crazy.
It's because I'm blinded by my whiteness, okay? Blinded by the white.
White. That's pretty good.
I'm too white to see that I'm fucking privileged as fuck. Where is the...
For real, the Irish were heavily oppressed by the British back in the day.
I don't got one over here, homie. Figure it out. There's like 2 fucking actual bottle openers somewhere over there.
Man, this shit's not it. Oh. I'm sorry for derailing the show with my alcoholism. It's because I'm Dutch.
Man just shows back up here with blackface. Goes in the other room, fucking shows up. It's because I'm Dutch, man. Man, our Christmas episodes are gonna be crazy. We're gonna talk about Fred Claus. You're gonna be blackface the whole time. God damn.
We're gonna have Justin Trudeau on to do some blackface.
Oh boy. If he's not locked up like he should be. Bitch.
Yeah. Update on the Freedom Convoy. Literally, no one gives a single fuckity fuck anymore.
I just saw a fucking Six Buzz thing being of this fucking egg-shaped motherfucker with a little tiny-ass head on him. He's living out in his car because he fucking put his entire life savings into the convoy, expecting to be fucking reprimanded for that shit.
Reprimanded?
I don't know if that's quite a word, but...
Reprimand...
He was expected to get his money back.
Reimbursed?
Reimbursed, perhaps. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm on. I'm tired as hell, homie.
Yeah.
I'm zoning in
no masks
now and again for the key
anymore. Have you guys been out to the public?
That first day was crazy. I was at a Valley Village because I had like a 2-hour fucking lunch, and I'm like, man, I'm not doing shit.
Checking out some chins.
And I was walking around, and I didn't even think about it. I put my mask on just out of habit, and then I walked in there, and I'm like, this guy's not wearing a fucking mask. What the hell's going on? And I'm like, oh shit, it's the fucking first day. And it was all pretty much just old white ladies, just not wearing it, like Karens. Everyone else was wearing it.
I've been going to visit friends' final recitals for their graduating, because I'm going to, music school. So I'm going to friends' recitals and things like that. And everybody's there is wearing a mask except for the performers because they need to, breathe and shit. And like while singing and stuff. Everybody's there wearing a mask. Everything's super respectful. The only time I actually have seen people inside without masks was actually, ironically, today at the mall trying to fix our mom's iPad. And half the people
Just
there
white
were
mom
not
problems.
wearing masks. Yep. And I even looked to my dad. I'm like, can we just go? I'm legitimately not comfortable around.
Man, I don't care if if they're not wearing masks. I'm like, that's their fucking prerogative.
It's not the law anymore, so you can't really
wear my shit.
It is, but I'm just
cool.
I was like thrown into the deep end basically. Because I'm still not comfortable with it.
Yeah, fast forward to a couple months from now, we'll be talking about how fucking stupid it was that we all acted like the whole thing was over. Unless we don't.
Yeah, who knows? I went to a Rock Universe as well because it was like right across the street, which is like a smoke shop kind of thing with also band T-shirts. And there was only me and the front desk girl there, and she was like, she kept being like, you don't have to wear your mask, and I'm like, I know. I know. I'm fine though. I'm cool.
I have a disgusting
shit,
zit
man.
on my
shit.
I have a whole mustache of zits.
Yeah,
so.
my beard is unkept. Shit. I'm trying to see this shit.
You can't see me scowling the entire time.
People at work are seeing like all my nose hairs and shit.
No,
I'm becoming way less popular.
Damn.
No one wants to talk to me.
Fucking went down, bro.
Method Man is in
How High?
This show. Yeah, he's in that. He's known for that. I have never seen that, but apparently it's a classic.
I've seen like most of it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
But I saw him in the show The Deuce, which was
Never seen it.
About like pimps and prostitutes in New York City and stuff,
Yeah.
and he played a pimp that had a great character arc from the
racist casting going on here, guys.
The first 2 seasons, but he's very good in that role. Surprisingly good actor. I would say this is one of the more high quality acting performances from a rapper that I've seen. But it's more of a minor role. It's not like he's the main character or anything.
Diddy was in one episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia randomly as like a herbal doctor type of thing. It was pretty good.
Wow.
It was pretty funny.
That makes sense for that show, but I don't consider
it also
Diddy.
doesn't really make sense.
I just don't like Diddy.
Random.
I don't like Diddy.
Don't like Diddy.
T.I. randomly somehow I read this that T.I. is in Ant-Man. Does anyone remember that?
I haven't watched Ant-Man, bro. I'll be straight up with you.
Okay. Damn, now I just revealed that I've seen Ant-Man.
Bro.
What are people gonna think about me?
Another 3 slaps fucking getting ready, bro. We're gonna have to all the L's we take in the pod, we're gonna have to at the end just slap each other for that shit. Snoop Dogg has been in a lot of shit, but just as Snoop Dogg is the thing. Like how we said before, like a lot of these rappers are kind of just playing almost themselves in these roles.
Well, the movie with Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg where they smoke weed or whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember what
it's like a high school
go back
movie.
to Dustin goes back to high school, some shit like that.
Mac goes to whatever.
I remember seeing one clip of Snoop Dogg and Mac Miller
in Scary Movie 5 or whatever. Yeah. They just played themselves. Like, yeah, it wasn't anything.
Snoop Dogg's more of an entertainer.
Yeah.
Than strictly a rapper at this point.
And you gotta mention Eminem just because in terms of 8 Mile, because that was a great movie. He had a great performance, but he hasn't really acted since. I mean, I guess he was also kind of just playing
That's
himself.
That's the thing. He's not. Like, you're not an actor good. If you're just playing yourself.
But it was still like a good performance, though. Like I don't know. Yeah,
it's easy to perform when you're just like
about
reenacting things that really happened to you. True. I don't know.
I guess he was also in The Interview. But he just played out. But he was Eminem as well, so it's it's
The
tough
Interview. God, that is like the most 2013 thing that you could mention.
My buddies watched that.
Remember when North Korea was a thing that was people cared about?
And as well, just one more thing. Pretty much when Alex walked in, it's almost worse than catching your buddy masturbating. I was bumping Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch on the stereo here. I got a CD of that shit.
Yeah.
I was listening to that.
Did you get footage of me dancing to that? Is that going to be in the episode?
We'll see. But
that's one.
It just sounded like
way more known
shit.
For his acting.
Yeah, it was just some random. Also, like Steve-O had a rap album randomly. Fucking that me and my buddies listened to one time, and it was just him being like, "I'll kill your motherfucking mother, bitch," in his fucking voice, and it was kind of hard, but also it was just
not a bad Steve-O impression.
That's as good as I'm gonna get.
Action Bronson in The Irishman.
Okay, Action Bronson's on the come up though. He could be He said he almost landed a role in the new Matrix or some shit. Yeah, like he could.
Really?
Well, he said that in a bar, right?
That seems like something you would rap about.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would even want to be in the new Matrix.
Yeah, apparently it was fucking trash. I think in an interview he talked about it, and he's like, "Yeah, I auditioned, I didn't get it, or some shit." So he's like trying to, which commendable.
Speaking of 8 Mile, Exhibit has this good cameo in that one where because the movie's about battle rapping, so that creates an opportunity to have all kinds of cameos from different people.
Mm-hmm. In terms of some shit performances, apparently, speaking of How High, there was a How High reboot with Lil Yachty and fucking one of the Vine dudes. One of the dudes that was popular on CJ Fly or some shit, or fucking King Bach or some shit.
Young Fly?
Yeah, it was one of that shit. And apparently it was just like fucking terrible. I don't know about his performance, but a lot of these rappers, these new rappers are being like, "Oh, I'm gonna start acting. Like, watch out, man! I'm gonna start fucking acting on this shit. I'm gonna have me in a fucking movie and shit." And then they turn out to just be kind of fucking shit. Like, I don't know.
LL Cool J in Any Given Sunday is a movie that I've seen.
I knew he was
a football movie. He plays like a football player. So it's pretty good.
Yeah. I guess to wrap up, it kind of just seems like unless some of these rappers are acting in roles that aren't just about fucking rappers or thugs or that kind of shit, then it's not really that kind of impressive almost. Or you just can't really give them as much merit as being like a great actor if you're kind of just playing
But
I would kind of roles.
I would give the crown. The crown goes to Tupac because when you actually look into his acting resume, he was in several movies and not just ones where he was playing.
I don't know if I've even really seen much of Tupac acting, so I can't really even attest.
Me
to
neither,
that, so.
but this is just something that I've heard, and I'm gonna pass it off like it's my opinion. Let's get the stamp of the Buddy Alex stamp of approval.
We can't keep that in.
Why not? Why not?
Because that was a joke for us.
Speaking of fucking acronyms, MGK, a bad actor, perhaps, and he wasn't that. There was a
bad influence on our culture.
Let's talk about it. I was the one that wrote down, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna talk about MGK, guys, and I didn't even listen to this fucking album yet, so I'm gonna listen to it. We might have a whole other segment talking about pop punk and rap and shit at some other point.
It's actually a huge topic, which we should give more serious talk, but we're just here to goof off.
Because we all grew up as rock heads, so like it kind of, we have some stuff to to say, but just in terms of right now.
I was actually born with a rock stuck in my head.
Well, I got kidney stones, so I got some rocks in me, baby. Let's go.
Well, the Rock is in the building.
Shit. Does he have desires? Does he have drive?
I'm fucking the Rock, so the Rock is in me. That's
I'm fucking the Rock.
I'm fucking the Rock, yo! It's Steve-O. Do some Steve-O freestyles.
Yeah, so the album's called Mainstream Sellout.
Hey.
The whole joke is MGK did the first pop punk album. It was a big smash.
The whole thing is that he got bullied out of rap because of fucking Eminem, and
now he's getting bullied out of the emo scene for being a poser.
But he's still getting the bag though. Like he's still the last album went platinum, and like he has a bunch of fans.
He's rich, but he's miserable.
He's more popular than he's ever been. Is he miserable though?
Well,
is that confirmed?
The subject matter of the song is, or the
album
is all
it's depressed boy.
Oh, I'm all successful, but I'm still depressed though.
But I'm sure he is a poser though. Like to an extent, he's almost self-aware, calling the album mainstream sellout. Like he is selling out. Like he's
to call that self-awareness is
not self-aware, but like
he's trying to seem
capitalize
self-aware.
Yeah, I suppose.
The song mainstream sellout is kind of funny when you hear it because it's all like you're ruining the scene. You're ruining the scene.
Yeah, I've heard the one with Bring Me the Horizon, which isn't actually that bad for like a pop punk song. I don't like the fucking screaming and shit on it. It's annoying, but because I don't really like Bring Me the Horizon.
2 Lil Wayne features.
Yeah, I listened to which
A is actually not
that bad. It's an okay song. Lil Wayne is all right on it. The chorus is just lazy. Just A. Yeah, it's just kind of fucking lazy. Emo Girl is shit. Unfortunately, I mean not unfortunately.
The song.
It's kind of
one thing I'll say is the song with Black Bear on it was not bad because you at least
had a Black Bear hater though.
You at least had a decent singer. Like when you hear how bad his vocals are in so many of the tracks, that it makes the other ones sound like
a little better.
Like, oh well, at least this guy can sing.
Oh, just tell me that song with Gunna and Young Thug. Does MGK like rap on that? Like how does that song sound? I'm just curious.
There's another guy on it who I'm pretty sure does the chorus, and everybody else raps. I think.
Is MGK even on the song? Like, does he? Because I never liked MGK's rap, so I'm not fucking. And his pop punk, like I've gotten into maybe a few of his songs, like, and they're okay. So I'm if anything, I'm more into his kind of emo shit, but like still, I'm not even like really a fan. I'm a fan by proxy because my girlfriend really likes him, but I'm willing to admit he had some bangers. But I haven't listened to this. I'm going to listen to this album. I'll talk about it maybe next time we.
Well, my girlfriend is Megan Fox, so
I don't think that's true, man.
There's something kind of perverted about dating Megan Fox,
Well, it's better than dating a minor.
She's like a 37-year-old woman.
Come on, give it to me.
I'm not even gonna go.
Come on, man. We're trying to fucking go in on him, man. Come on. Because the whole beef with the Eminem shit started because he said his daughter was hot when she was like 16.
Oh. Should I look up Haley?
I mean,
Eminem?
I don't think she's 16 now.
Haley
so
Mathers?
probably, yeah, sure.
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure she went viral on TikTok for being hot the other day.
Don't doubt it, but
for being of age hot.
Yeah. Just to clarify. Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, we're gonna freestyle on some MGK beats. Just in time. I get along with animals really well.
Here, I got it where you get the beat going. It's alright. Hey. Whoa. I got the impression fucking down, though. Hey, dropped my girl off at the high school. It was not cool. I was like, dude, I was like, whoa. Oh, hey,
yeah.
Hey, whoa. Whoa.
I got some tattoos. I got some nice guys in my team. There's also some girls that hang out with us. She wears fishnets.
They all got scars.
I don't give a fuck. I'll just smoke a blunt with my buds. You fucking suck. Yo, hey,
whoa, hey.
The world sucks.
I wear all black.
I'm freaking depressed as shit.
This shit is all whack.
Oh. Yeah. Hey. She's wearing fishnets. She's wearing black stuff. She's wearing makeup. She's fitting the aesthetic.
Okay, Josh with the bar of the year.
She's wearing
My chick looks like Sparta Pete.
All right.
Josh had the line.
We gotta just cut it there.
Josh had the looking at his phone, no less. Not even
Jesus
trying.
Christ, bro. All right. I'll consider that a success.
I don't even know if that picked up, but
I didn't even do the emo voice the whole time.
I was kind of lost. I started off with the emo voice. Like you got it with like the blunt shit. I smoked the fucking blunt. Yeah, it's kind of just the lackadaisical fucking emo shit.
But seriously, when you listen to the song A, he literally says, "I'm tatted up. I smoked a blunt," and it's like he says the same shit in that other Paper Cuts song that I listened to as well. Yeah. And it's just like
it's the same shit.
Just simply mentioning the aesthetics of punk, wave fashion or whatever. It's not anything.
The whole thing why it doesn't piss me off that much is because pop punk in itself is it was always like that. Like I guess Blink-182 and like Sum 41 and shit, they're definitely more talented and they make catchier tunes and like there's something more to their music. But even then, it was still 30-year-olds talking about some high school shit, and they're still fucking doing it, like, to this day. Like, it doesn't really... Like, I think he gets a little bit of unwarranted hate for that fact. In terms of, like, being a 30-year-old talking about this shit. Like, there's plenty of other people doing that shit. Like, just because he's not the first to do it, you know? That's kind of my
This is something I've been thinking a lot about lately, where, like, the reaction to something will be... On Twitter, someone will, quote, tweet, "This guy's 30, by the way."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which is, like, kind of true, but it's also, like, whatever. Everyone's immature. There's no such thing as an adult anymore.
Yeah, Drake is still fucking talking about fucking Instagram shit and still, like, he's still fucking
acting
like a high schooler too,
adult.
bro. Like, yeah, shit, exactly, man. Like, fuck.
Show me one adult.
Yeah, man.
That's not your dad.
Kids, bro. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But I think that's just because, like, especially with the Kanye Pete drama, with people just replying, by the way, this guy's 36 or whatever. Like, by the way, this guy's in his 40s.
Age don't really...
But that's...
As MGK would say, age doesn't matter, so...
Yeah. Age is just a number.
Gotta keep going with those jokes, man.
But, yeah, we'll get farther into the pop punk rap discussion on some other episode, but... It does not bode well for our... I see it as a way of criticizing the whole culture for being immature, out of ideas.
That's fair. Just
never growing up, never learning.
That's fair.
Recycling the same bullshit over and over again.
Not innovating music.
Not even being like good with fashion either.
And the one thing that pissed me off as well, there was like a fucking tweet that I saw, like it was a quote from an article I did of being like, I was in the rap scene in like 2010 in like the 2010s or whatever, and like it was lacking stuff, and like
I thought about this thing called the guitar.
Yeah, it was literally just like that.
The guitar.
Like,
it came to me in a dream.
People need to hear more instruments in songs. I'm like, bro, if you didn't come up with the fucking guitar, bro, just because you know a few power chords don't mean you're fucking talented in this shit. Like, shit, man.
One day I was reading the dictionary, and I came across the word guitar.
Yeah, he's sure, he might be a rock star in terms of, like, his image and, like, he breaks guitars and, like, that's all it really takes. But he's not really a instrumentalist. He's not really a musician, almost. It's like, you know what I'm trying to say?
I mean, neither was fucking...
He's a rock star in image, but he doesn't really have the musical chops to really fucking...
I'm trying to think of who was the last great rock star who
Post Malone.
The glass rock star who didn't actually play instruments but only sung shit. Axl Rose?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he didn't play any instrument.
Yeah. Well, but there's a lot of bands that like do that are, I don't know if they're rock stars, necessarily, but yeah, I don't know.
I think I got it with Axl Rose.
Perhaps.
I don't want that to be right, but I think that might be.
Could be.
It's got to be something.
Because you at least got to be able to like play the bass or the piano or
exactly.
synth.
Yeah.
I would say Chris Cornell, but he played guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's an interesting question.
Point is, if learning to actually play the guitar is impressive and cool, unless you're one of those guys, but this MGK guy, it's just a poser.
Yep. That's.
And we're not posers. We're real.
I'll wrap up the MGK shit by saying...
Dude, speaking of hot guys...
I might be seeing MGK live with my girlfriend. With Avril Lavigne opening and Ian Dior.
I don't know why.
So... why I'm whipped?
No. I just don't know why. I just don't know why in general.
Because I'm dragging her a bunch of these fucking concerts that she has like some interest in, but not really. So it kind of makes sense that we would go to one that she more so wants to go to. But I got a new job in the summer that, and I'm working that day, so I might not be able to go. But there's gonna be a concert review of that.
Sorry, guys, sure. I laughed at my joke before I even said it. But me and my girl are gonna go see the Wiggles.
That's just what she's into at the time,
Look, you do things. You do things in a relationship, Oh, I'm trying to like take interest into what she's doing, into what she's into.
All right,
coloring books, learning,
they're learning ABCs.
ABCs.
They're opening for Kids Bop.
God damn it, bro.
God,
we all children, bro.
Look, I'm married to the game. That is.
Got a fucking ring pop on, this motherfucker.
Yeah. I'm married to the podcasting game.
Damn, you right.
I sleep with this microphone next to me in my bed.
Just getting always making content.
That's why it's such a shitty microphone that never picks up any of my hilarious jokes. What if you insulted a microphone and it just like stopped picking up what you said to it?
Whoa, that's like some Atlanta shit, bro.
Yeah.
We can't just say anything that's somewhat metaphysical to be Atlanta.
This is going to be a scene on an Atlanta episode. Two white podcasters.
Yeah, they're gonna reference fucking this shit for sure.
Being subliminally racist somehow.
I also heard apparently like Gambino was thinking of
putting us on.
Yeah, of just ending it after season 2, like just having that last scene of season 2 just being the end of it. But apparently, like the other writers were like kind of being like, "No, we should do more," and then he was like, "All right." So, shouts out to them. Shout out to everyone working on that shit.
And shout out Hiro Murai.
Fact, crazy director. I emailed him.
Does he do other shit?
Point. He does music videos.
Let's get him
to an extent.
Let's get him to do the next.
I had a class in
Fanny
fucking in university where you had to like fucking reach out to like people that were like in your inspiring field to like.
I actually had to do that too.
To interview them and shit and talk to them, and I on a whim because like they said like you'd be surprised the people that some people get right. On a whim, I emailed them. I obviously never got a response, but
way too busy.
Still,
talk to some.
Yeah, come on.
Bum ass photography student.
Well, I thought that the dude that did the cinematography for fucking Handmaid's Tale and a bunch of other shows and shit, so that was pretty cool. But anyway.
Alright. Anyway, this is a Rapcast.
We should talk about some real rap music and rap adjacent music.
Give some time to some of the new classics that are getting dropped.
So there's a few individual songs, but there's 2 like main kind of albums we want to talk about. We'll just say right now, Denzel and Nigo and fucking So a bunch of other shit dropped, but we haven't listened to that shit.
It's just Friday. Came out. We don't have time to...
We want to give it a little bit more time to sit with some of that shit. So tune in next time if you're looking for that shit. We're going to talk about some older shit. What do you want to start with?
First thing, let's just get out of the way. Rex Orange County dropped an album.
Okay. I haven't listened to it. I heard the Tyler song.
I have kind of skimmed through it, but mainly I got really into the Open a Window song with Tyler.
It's a vibe.
Perfect.
Man. It's great.
Got the pianos.
Yeah, great melodies.
Got those violins in there.
Tyler's not even the best part of the song. Like it's a good verse, but it's just
It made it into the Alex Pimp and Yacht IG stories.
I saw that.
I thought, wow, this would sound perfect over some slow motion footage of rushing waters, you know? As we think about the passing of time and the seasons changing.
Because it's spring, baby. Kind of.
And it's the springtime of our lives. There's another song called 7 a.m. off the album that jumped out to me. It's a little bit... Like, Rex Orange County is a little bit too bedroom...
Soft boy shit.
TikTok, soft. But... certain parts, sometimes it really delivers.
He has some other songs that also my girl put me on too that are pretty good as well. Because he's just a good singer too, like shit.
But listening to a whole album, I'm just
I don't know if I'd do that.
Some of the songs, I'm like, this guy's annoying. Like
corny,
this is the kid in my class who keeps putting his hand up and sharing shit about his life. That was a completely stupid metaphor.
I don't know. I can't really relate to that one. Anyway, we should have We should have a compilation of your metaphors that just never went anywhere.
Compilation of me losing
brain cells on the fucking fly, man.
Man, I need to start smoking.
Pippin Yachts L's.
But that mean vaping.
Speaking of high, it was called. I gotta pull up the song name, bro. I fucking forgot. That Joey Bada song that dropped a few weeks ago. Keep your head high. I think it was like Head High or some shit like that, yeah. Because I wanted to talk about it last week when we talked about Joey Badass a little bit, because we kind of gave him his flowers last episode, because we kind of pretty much before that we kind of just shat on him on the podcast. And the song before that came out with the Revenge, we kind of had, we kind of shat on as well to an extent. Like it was an okay kind of pop trap song, but it was forgettable. But this one is kind of back to the basics, more boom bap shit, Static Select a beat, which is always appreciated on some Joey Badass shit. Like, yeah, put him over any boom bap classic shit, and it's gonna be an A+ in my book. I think it's a great song, great bars. Talked about X
super
in
hard.
It.
Tells the whole story of meeting X and seeing that he was a stand-up guy and like giving him
out and
legitimate criticism on his album instead of just being like, oh, it sounds awesome.
And how he could see like there's people hating on him, but he's choosing to like see how he's kind of like getting better almost, or like because at least it seemed towards the end of X's life that like he was trying to get better, because even if the shit that is said about him is true, he was a terrible person for a while there, but it seemed like he was kind of on the up and up. But
anyway, just interesting to hear like a story like that instead of just the same standard kind of bars about.
Because he's done that boom bap kind of shit before, so it's almost like what does he have left to say? But he still has stories. He still has stuff
on the
to
instrumental. Say. It's a good song.
Good chorus.
So there's gonna be a Joey Badass album soon.
Hopefully soon.
Maybe it don't know yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Push shit is coming soon, man. He was on Hot Ones the other day. I saw. So that shit, that shit's fucking coming.
When Sean
soon.
Evans gets the call,
then
you know it's about to be. It's about to be hot. Get those Scovilles going, buddy. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Anyway, Sean Evans is definitely a pedophile. Moving on.
All right.
Let's talk about Benny the Butcher, dog.
Okay.
Tana Talk 4. The Butcher coming.
And he here. And he delivered. Speaking as a new kind of Griselda fan, as I said last time, this is only my kind of dipping my toe into the Griselda shit.
I'm curious what your
only my second
thoughts are.
Benny
overall.
the Butcher out. It's only the second Griselda album I listened to all the way through. The first one being fucking the last Conway one that just dropped, and I really liked it. But this Benny one is even better.
Is Tana Talk 4?
Tana Talk 4.
Yeah,
I don't.
I got Josh to listen to it because the instrumentals were so
Let's
hard.
go. That's the thing. It's not carried by the instrumentals because throughout he gives great performances and pretty much every feature is like top notch. But I think the reason why this project stands out to me is because everything is produced by Alchemist and Derringer. Who do you know anything about Derringer? I don't really know much. Is he like a Griselda camp guy? Like,
yeah, he's like one of the main best guys.
Because he's pretty much just like I couldn't differentiate the beats between Alchemist and Derringer because they were all kind of very similar, but like
certain songs
different enough,
though,
but like,
are so Alchemisty that you kind of have to know that they're.
And they had a little Alchemist tag in some of the songs too, so you could tell. But the production on here is fucking top notch. Every beat is fucking crazy. It's hard to not sound good on these beats, man. And he kills it pretty much most of the time. There's a few songs that I don't really fuck with and are just kind of, to me, like, kind of fall into that kind of just like coke rap kind of, okay, I kind of heard this shit before type of thing. I don't really like that one with West Side Gun either. I think that one just kind of sounds, I don't know, just kind of like it's been done before. I don't know. I just don't really fuck with that one as much.
Yeah.
Super Plug, I'm not the biggest fan of. I think it's pretty good, but I don't love it. And I like Tyson vs. Ali, but the chorus isn't great.
I agree.
Just Tyson vs. Ali, yeah, they could, they could work on their hook game maybe a bit, but those are my criticisms of it. Pretty much everything other than that is fucking great.
Yeah, I think this is like really fucking good. Tana Talk, the Tana Talk series is more like underground, grimy, like it has a unique sound to it, a unique Buffalo sound. And watching one of the interviews, Benny was kind of saying like, with every Tana Talk, like the first one was kind of about him establishing himself on his block, and the next one was like him establishing himself as in like Buffalo.
Right.
And then Tana Talk 3 was the one that I've heard.
Right.
Which came out in 2018, and that was him more kind of coming onto the scene of underground hip hop in general. And this is like, everyone's kind of moving towards a bigger audience.
Yeah.
But they all kind of have like this kind of understated vibe to them where it's a little bit, it's for and by people who sell drugs for a living. Like it's not really like poppy. It's not
it's
meant
not
to
trying to be for anyone else.
It's not meant to be played in the club or anything. But yeah, he's just floating over some of these Alchemist instrumentals. Obviously the intro is, we've already talked about it, Johnny P's Caddy is
song.
Amazing J. Cole feature. I like the Stove God Cooks song back. I
like the chorus on that one too. Yeah.
He kind of Stove God Cooks kind of brings a little bit more levity to the track. Like he's a little bit funnier with how he puts words together. I took a screenshot of some of the shit that.
Yeah, I'm kind of blanking on bars. I've heard it like 3 or 4 times, but like, I'm still kind of I haven't like
he's like, bitch, I brought a brick home, did it off the flip phone, had the feds in there tiptoeing, I left some dirty pots and a note that said I've been gone. Yeah, so it's like he's just taunting the cops. He's very like funny about how he describes selling drugs and becoming, making a name for himself.
Yeah.
Then fuck man.
Super Plug's the next one.
Yeah, that one is like top-notch piano, like Alchemist pianos. This is like a very specific production thing that I have where, there's... I'm not good at music. I can't describe how it does the little ding-dong, ding, ding-dong, ding, over and over again. And then there's one part where the notes go a little bit lower.
Yeah.
And you would expect him to go back to it every single time in the pattern, but he only uses it once.
I would have to listen to it again, but
just you know what he's talking about though, of like having like a thing that's repeating, but then once in a while it kind of changes up a little bit.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Interpolation or some bullshit word like that.
Yeah, it's like
that's what I was gonna think
as
well.
Like,
but
I remember talking about this with a guy who's like with a drummer who I went to go visit during one of the recitals. He was talking about how like repetition legitimizes, and at the same time, actually the guitarist for Silver Sun Pickups said the same thing, where sometimes if you play something enough times, people get sort of hypnotized by it, but then as soon as you switch it up just a little bit, that could be more intense than
it keeps it interesting as well. Like, if it's just a basic loop the whole time, then it's like, you might get bored maybe even.
Yeah, well, when I was listening to it, I was like, oh, like a less seasoned producer would have done that little variation on a more predictable thing, but it's just thrown in there to give a little bit of like, because it always
emphasize
whenever you're listening to beats with pianos and violins and stuff like that, you know, you can get kind of like it just plays over and over again on a loop. But then what we like is live instrumentation, and how like sometimes it goes off in a different direction unexpectedly. Little things like that is that's the kind of shit that I notice from these Alchemist beats. Like,
they're samples originally played by real people that aren't quantized, and they're all they're all a little off the beat a little bit, and he just leans into that, and he doesn't try to overly fix everything. He doesn't try to get everything completely on. He swings things sometimes, which is purposefully playing off the beat. And he that's the Alchemist sound. Really.
That's why we need Josh on this podcast, because he's the only actual like musician here.
I know. Well, that's why I texted Josh about this shit, because I was like, these instrumentals are like, I'm trying to describe how much I like them, but I don't really know like
the intricacies.
It's just he's doing new type of, and also with Benny the Butcher rapping, like, you kind of have to leave a lot more space on the beats, because he puts he's very verbose and uses lots of very large words, and squeezes in as many rhymes as possible in there. So and there's like it's got the pianos in that beat, but it also has these like weird like ambient sounds that are
I dug those.
Sort of like I don't know. That's like some
it's not a bad song by any means. It just didn't really stick out to me. Off the first
song that really stuck out was Weekend in the Paris.
That was one of my favorites on here. The beat is insane. The verses are insane. Bully James, fucking insane verse. Everything rhymes in that verse. Like everything rhymes in that verse, bro. It's crazy. Just lush fucking loop. It's crazy.
And the way that they refrain on the that's how it's always going to be.
Yeah.
That's how it's always been.
Yeah.
There's no changing that. And then they use different vocals from like random people, and it just it really like
it works so well together.
It delivers the message of the song in a way that's like the producer and the rapper and everybody is working in perfect unison. It's like a fucking well-oiled machine.
It's nutty.
He has a bar about like how on a shoestring budget I show them what I can do. Bars about fentanyl.
Yep.
Great to see new drugs getting mentioned in songs.
Man, I don't know if we want to mention that one. Shit, taking lives out here.
The one with 11 Commandments I really liked.
Right, 10 More Commandments. That one's also one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Kind of Biggie sequel to his song. The storytelling on that shit and just how it all flows together is great. Keeps you enthralled the whole time, because you really want to know what he has to say. Like, and he's spitting game, man. Like, a lot of this project is him talking about his evolution almost. I don't know as much about it, but just from what you're saying, I can gather like how this one's more so like him kind of just relishing in the moment and just like spitting his game and like just really being like, I'm here, like this, I've done all this shit, and kind of being more like braggadocious and shit almost to an extent.
Yeah, it's really cool that he did a addition to the Biggie Smalls classic to add much more rules. Also, because the game of selling drugs has changed so much since the 90s.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of different aspects to the like. But now that social media
we was talking about one of them was like about social media or some shit.
Don't brag about that shit on social media. The cops will find.
And also, like, his final commandments is that you have to get out of the fucking game.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, bro,
this shit will kill you.
Which is something that, like, in Biggie's time, it wasn't as, you know, it wasn't as well known that, you know, you could, like, that the whole selling drugs to eventually get out of was a complete lie from the beginning. Like, that you could actually successfully do that and not end up just in a bad situation in the end. Right, or getting killed or some shit,
Nowadays, it feels like it's a little more possible because look at Benny. You know, he's out of it. He's rapping now. And he's just saying, like, get out of it. Like, find.
It's because
you can't do this shit forever.
It was long ago. It was long enough ago that he stopped selling drugs. That he's been able to completely change his situation.
I like Tyson versus Ali. Like, I like the verses of them talking about, like, stop trying to compare us, which I think, like, that's a big thing in Griselda, is, like, comparing the three main guys there. So I like that they're kind of, like, but they're also giving each other their flowers and shit at the same time. It's just the chorus is kind of annoying to me, but yeah, it's a decent song overall, though.
That's one where you're at the concert and everyone's going, Tyson versus Ali, Tyson versus Ali. And it doesn't really matter that it's not, doesn't sound as good like when you're...
or isn't that catchy or something. Yeah, it's just,
But yeah, interesting concept. Like, we always try to compare people that will never actually fight because it's like, it's only a hypothetical discussion. Like, they're on the same team anyway.
Yeah, there's no switching up there. Yeah, kind of brotherhood. I'm talking about that kind of shit as well.
Conway has a really ill metaphor. He says, don't get distracted by the noise. Don't let it ruin your thing. They tried to pick you off, but that's really a moving screen. That's like a great sports metaphor about picking, like a pick off versus a moving screen, and how it's like.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. Yeah.
And if he continues on in that verse with metaphors about athletes and like.
Yeah.
It's a pretty solid song, but yeah, it's not my favorite. But my favorite song off of it was Uncle Bun.
That's a great one. Yeah, them trading the shit.
This guy 38 Spesh, I've never heard of him. Apparently he used to be signed to him before.
Oh shit.
Fucking insane shit. Like the way they go back and forth. It's the most like murderous, like dead, like dark beat that you could like. I don't know exactly how you would describe that, like, weird rattling noise of, like, the...
Yeah, it's disturbing, bro.
It's on some real danger shit. But that's when they're truly flowing.
Oh, yeah. It's a free-for-all.
And this 38 Spesh guy has this great, like, voice where... To me, it reminds me of, like a Chappelle Show sketch where it's, like, the players' ball and you have, like, all these pimps and they're talking with their specific, like... drawl, and he's like, when I landed, I took advantage of the price difference.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And that guy's just like, his delivery and his bars and everything is just hilarious.
It's great. Yeah, it's a great
and awesome.
It's a great song. The rest of it kind of I don't really remember as well, so I'm gonna let you kind of go off on that shit if you'd like. But
I mean, there's not as much to say. Like, he just continues on being dope. One thing I wanted to mention was the song with West Side Gun. It's not like the best song on the album, but like I love how West Side Gun comes on and is just full. He just gets fully silly with it and says some crazy shit. You can always count on
West Side to do that shit.
He starts the verse with. Flip hit a stem, did a wheelie in his wheelchair. Showgirls, mill worth of jewels, bitch, I'm still here. Like
pardon, bro? Like
my dope spot got 2 Van Goghs in it. And it's just mostly the verse is mostly him doing the boom 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 shit. But that's really all you need.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the song Guerrero's. Mr. Chow Hall is one of my early faves for it's very like David Lynch style mystery.
Yeah, in terms of instrumental, yeah, for sure.
Very liminal space of a song, if you will.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a really excellent project, and I would recommend that you listen to it.
Yeah, shit.
I
wasn't expecting for it to be as. Or I didn't expect for me to like it as much as I did, but it's.
If you're
I don't know if it's
more
make my
of
top 10 necessarily, because it's still not exactly my sound that I gravitate to the most, but it's still undeniably a great project. Just speaking.
The Tana Talk series, yeah, it's
should I listen to 3? Do you think I should listen to 3?
Yeah, you should definitely listen. That one is more. It's darker. There's less features. It's less like, you know, he hasn't popped off yet, so it doesn't have as much variation with the types of instrumentals on it. But like, there's a couple songs like 97 Hove and
I think
Joe Pesci 38,
right?
Which are both songs that he references in another song on this album,
right?
Which I consider to be hood classics.
Where would you rank this one in terms of your Benny projects? Plugs I Met 2?
Probably so far my favorite.
Damn. I mean, you can't. It's hard to deny.
The Plugs I Met 2 is good for what it is, but it's a different style that I don't like as much.
Yeah.
And same goes for Burden of Proof, but they're all different aesthetics.
Right.
But yeah, Benny continues his conquest on the rap game.
He really butchering shit. Living up to his name.
Remember when butcher used to be a bad thing? Man, you butchered that.
Yeah. I guess now it's, shit. Taking it back. Now, to get sexy.
No, fuck that. Now to get a little bit sexual.
Okay,
what is this album called again?
It's called Candydrip by Lucky Daye. So I finally managed to get Alex to listen to Lucky Daye. It's been a while since I've been talking about this guy. I've been ranting and raving.
Of the week.
Ranting and raving.
Which vinyl is this, by the way?
That's Painted. The album came out in 2019, which I think is still a better project. Like, it's fucking insane. And that was what got me into him. But Candydrip is a very, very suitable... Because he had an EP that dropped last year, but I wasn't the biggest fan of it. But this one is a very suitable kind of next or sophomore LP. Some very good highs on here. Some a little bit lows. Some that are songs that are kind of just okay. None that are like bad really to me. Like some of the interludes aren't that great, and shit like that. But yeah, this guy's like a budding R&B singer. That I'm just I think he's one of my favorite like current R&B singers happening right now. Like because Frank Ocean isn't really in the scene. Anderson .Paak is kind of in between rap and R&B, so I don't really consider him. So Lucky Daye is definitely up there, especially after this album kind of solidifies it for me. And the album cover, if we're doing the end of the year rankings, it'll make my number one album that makes me question my own sexuality, of course.
Guy's dripping on this.
He dripping. Let me look at the track list here. Yeah, some of my fave tracks. Feels Like is a great fucking one of the highlights for me. Great fucking danceable kind of like party fucking tune. That beat goes crazy. He's flowing.
That's one where he does a very high voice thing.
Yeah, I fuck with it.
I was a little bit annoyed by it first, but once I kind of listened to it 3 or 4 times, I kind of really
like. I think the production on here is really good, and I think his singing, like, he doesn't really miss a step anywhere here as well. But some of the songs just like don't really do it for me as much. God Body with Smino to me is it's good, but it's not one of my favorites. NWA with Lil Durk is pretty good. Guess is alright. Candydrip is pretty good.
These first couple songs were my early favorites.
Right on.
NWA is like the most you could hear that on the radio kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not the best song in the world.
Yeah.
One thing about that song is Lil Durk says...
Oh, he says something
about smelly sex?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's my note. It just says smelly sex.
Okay, so. Well, yeah, I don't remember.
Do your own research on that one.
I don't remember I don't remember the bar off top, but yeah, that's a really good song.
But yeah, I've been texting with my homie Brad. Shout out Brad.
Yeah, he texted me as well, being like, man,
he's really into Lucky Daye, and Feels Like was his fave.
Yeah, he messaged me.
One of my faves comes from way later in the album. Used to Be.
Used to Be is the one for me. That one is insane.
It's got the movie strings. It's got
and the vocals is insane. The range, the chorus.
It's got the unrequited love.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's got the heartbreak.
Everything you need, bro. Everything you need.
And
for
this
a song
whole album
like
is
that.
just oozing with sexuality.
Oh, the whole time. Fucking Sound is another highlight for me. Very good song.
That song is not as sexual as you would think.
No, not as much. Yeah.
But it's when I heard that, I was like, Christian gospel organs, but lyrics that are about
getting your dick wet.
Getting the dick wet.
For sure.
I was thinking like, this is a thing like in R&B that's probably been done already like 1,000 times. That I've probably already heard a couple like. Just of that juxtaposing those ideas together or whatever.
I'm sure, but it's still done well, well enough that.
But every time I hear it, I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Because I already love the aesthetic.
Yeah, exactly. Just the production in itself, right? Yeah, and just playing with that idea.
It's like I've heard it a few times before, but like Lucky Daye is like a very proficient, talented singer.
Yeah,
and like
he does. Yeah, he
puts it together.
Yeah, exactly. Candydrip is a great song. It didn't like the singles. The singles were over.
I was expecting to like Candydrip more.
The singles were over Candydrip and NWA, and like I wasn't that crazy about any of them. Over definitely grew on me. I think they all grew on me a lot though. Like Candydrip grew on me. Over is with the great like kind of Spanish guitar fucking sample. I really like that one.
That one I like the instrumental more than the actual song.
That's fair. I think it's pretty catchy. Compassion is really good as well.
I'm still a little bit early on in listening to it.
That's fair.
Compassion is one of those ones where, like, my first couple listens to it, I was like, parts of it are too R&B, like it's
there's a few inflections that I think
boring.
Child is the guy that's making it. That's a little bit too R&B for me, but it's still I can't deny the groove and the talent.
Interesting
there.
thing I was thinking about is how like sometimes I'm listening to an R&B album and it's like. I feel weird even criticizing this because this is just maybe what the genre is, and I'm not really like necessarily. I don't totally vibe with it, or
right. That's fair. Yeah.
But usually with most R&B albums, after a couple more listens to it, I start to. It's not boring to me anymore.
Yeah.
But usually on first listen, like on my first listen, at least like the middle section of the album, I was a little bit bored by.
Right.
But the production is top notch all the way through.
Yeah, much. I like the Touch Somebody interlude as well. That groove on the bass and shit, and like his kind of vocals going from high to low is really good. I like that a lot.
Touch Somebody. I mean,
it's a little.
Could you have more of a sexual song?
Shit. I don't know, bro.
Would it even be possible?
Yeah, we talked about Used to Be. I like Fever and Ego a lot. The outro track Ego, kind of just him balancing, just like. Man, like I know I'm the shit, but I gotta kind of lower my ego a bit just so I can like love more, And I'm like, damn, bro, he's spitting.
What?
I don't know, bro. Listen to the song, bro.
Okay, so it's about how you have too much ego to even be a fucking.
Yeah, and he just playing with that whole kind of idea. Which I fuck with. Cherry Forest, I think, is kind of a boring one. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people say it's like their favorite, but it doesn't really do too much for me. But other than that, and like the interludes and shit, I'm gonna skip. But like, other than that, I think it's a great project, and I'm gonna keep looking out for.
But you're saying this one's better.
I still think. Let me just take a peek at the Rosimo's. Fuck, man.
This one has an A, B, C, and D.
Well, the D is the deluxe shit, so I don't really even consider that almost. Like just considering this, I still think it's more it's higher highs. To me, like Used to Be might be.
But this is just the first Lucky Daye project you listened to, so that's why you really.
Yeah, it was his first album over it, like his debut album. Like it's his first piece of music that's putting out. So.
So you think that might be a little bit of a bias,
perhaps. But yeah, I mean, I've only listened to it, again, like maybe 4 or 5 times, maybe max. So, there's still plenty of room to grow from there in terms of my love for it. But I'm going to be spinning this one a bunch this year. Believe that.
I've been playing it at work lately.
What's the audience reaction?
I don't think they like it very much.
Damn, bro. They all emo girls out there, bro.
Yeah, true.
Listen to fucking 102.1
when
The Edge, bro.
I put on Nirvana Nevermind. Just the second half of it. The second half of it, the deep cuts, is a pretty good vibe.
Nice.
For half the day.
Right on.
But yeah,
1 hour 45 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, there's a Chance song
we're done here.
About. I want to mention the Chance song because Chance is back, making his return.
Full circle.
Child of God.
Full circle on the podcast.
Child of God. Sorry for breaking the
levels there.
No,
I mean, it's already kind of low, but yeah.
Funnily enough, that was not the peak. That did not peak.
The peak was my peen.
The peak was 10 years
we
ago.
started off. We only pretty much have trashed Chance since the start of this podcast.
He's only been trashed since we started podcasting. Maybe when we stop podcasting, Chance will finally
all right,
do Acid Rap 2.
You potted now.
That would be hilarious if the next project was just called Acid Rap 2.
But it was nothing. It was just sounded like song like this.
But it was exactly the Child of God type beats.
Yeah. So he's been on a losing streak for a while. I mean, he's had some decent features and shit here and there. That song that came out last year, Heart and Tongue, was pretty good. I remember, similar style to this.
I don't know, man. I just don't like it that much. Like,
I fuck with it. I don't think it's that great, but you know, he's flowing.
There was a part in the middle where I was kind of nodding my head to it a little bit of this new song.
I just think the whole song is leading up to something and then it ends, like, you know.
Right.
Like in terms of the beat, that's what he's trying to do.
And then a guy goes, like, "Child of God," and then it's over.
I think like there could have been maybe a verse on the actual like beat instead of him just on like it is. He's still kind of doing the nursery, like the poetry, fucking like just like the, just doing the flows and like, you know, like how he got criticized kind of before, like around the coloring book era. He's still kind of doing that. But he's flowing. He has some fucking corny bars though.
I'm like a diet Jesus.
Lit like a candlestick.
I'm like a dying Jesus.
That was the last one, bro.
Yeah, saying lit like a candlestick is
that's
not it. I don't care what kind of song you're doing.
He has some decent bars though.
It's not
a terrible song, and it's,
I don't know,
you know, I'm
not,
still gonna listen to New Chance, but because I'm one of the people that like, the Big Day was shit, but there's still like 4 or 5 tracks that are pretty good.
Let's
and like
go
he's not complete that. No, not that one.
Let's go on the way. I actually kind of like that one.
Don't you like that Shawn Mendes one too? Or is that same one? I don't even know.
We'll have to go back into my old opinions.
But I don't think Chance, like people say, oh, Chance is washed, he's done. I still have a little bit of hope for Chance. Like I still think he could have it in him to release a good body of work. So I'm trying to hold out hope. This song isn't necessarily what I wanted to hear, but it's not necessarily putting a nail in the coffin to me either. So I'll take it.
First listen to it, I watched the video, and they spell out every word. Like, they have all the words on the... And I feel like that changed my perception of it, because I was just
too
hyper-focused on the lyrics and how they weren't really that... he's like, it's only fans, or it's only God.
Yeah.
He said something horrible.
It's saying it's on FanDuel or Fandango or
whether it's Fantano or FanDuel.
Man, he could have. He easily could have.
Okay, Fantano, what if Fandango was on FanDuel with only fans, and I was Mandingo?
Maybe that dingo ate my baby. Come on, that wasn't bad.
Come on.
Give me something.
Alright, well, I really have to pee quite a lot. So
Alright.
I'm gonna just whip my cock out right quick and...
Damn, bro. Well, it's been the Rapcast.
And it's been the Whack Cast. Because I'm whacking these other podcasters.
Go take a fucking piss, bro. God
All right.
damn it. Taking the piss out of this shit. Tune in next time for Denzel Curry, Nigo, maybe a pop punk conversation.
Push a T.
Hey, we'll see. Rapcast, maybe probably not on Spotify.
You ordered Diet Coke. That's a joke,
shit, here
right?
we go. With the buds just cuz we the centerpiece of these places packed full of these memories and energy. Love everything from that night of Sneaky D's to every late night watching trash TV.
Shout out Sid Roth.
Riding bikes through the town while we wearing crowns. Me and my dogs, we homeward bound.